Now, I'm not entirely sure why McLaren expected Oscar Piastri to be the Valtteri Bottas of McLaren,
To whom it may concern you.
where Lando Norris is nowhere near to being the Lewis Hamilton of McLaren.
Lando Norris leads through Curva Grande.
Very smart from the two McLaren drivers. Piastri tucked in, Norris gave him the slipstream, and then they didn't squabble too much in the first chicane. They are in the second chicane.
Squabbling, and Piastri takes the lead.
I mean, I feel like this season kind of just speaks for itself. Piastri is just getting shafted by McLaren and Lando can't win. So what is the real point of this all? Driver swap. It's like, maybe do all of this if the championship is alive and kicking, but it clearly isn't, because Lando's failed. Thank you, Oscar. You are going to be griefed from now on. Oscar Piastri has been helping out Lando so much, but he can't convert. Oscar Piastri just gets screwed over. But I feel like on this channel, we've talked a fair few bits about Lando Norris. We've given him enough slapping and beating for acting and driving the way that he is. Right, it isn't good. It isn't how a championship contender is meant to be behaving himself. But let me remind you, before we actually start talking about the Oscar Piastri thingy-ma-bobby.
It's not talent or, it's just luck.
Okay, buddy. I can literally see the puddle of tears under your feet. What are you, crying oceans again after you've just lost the championship? Isn't how he's meant to be driving. He isn't driving to the standards of a real championship contender. Not at all. There's Verstappen, who's winning races in the fourth fastest car, and Lando Norris fumbling race wins in the fastest car starting from pole position. They all seem free, but not when Lando Norris is behind the wheel.
Can you work with Oscar and do anything about the man in the middle?
We're going to try. If he's leading by turn 2, there's not a lot you can really do. So if you want to emulate Prost, Oscar into turn 1, Senna into turn 1, you can do that happily.
Clearly that's the only way you can win, because you're not good enough. And I don't think Oscar Piastri would want to do that for you. After all he's done, all he's sacrificed this season, just for you to fucking lose.
Unbelievable! McQueen is fading! McQueen is fading! Fading fast!
But who knows, things might change, and for the first time ever in a video, I'm going to say, if you want me to be happy, hit subscribe, hit like, and let's get 100k by next year. By the end of next year. We've hit 10k. I'm so thankful to all of you, but 100k, and maybe there will be something cool. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments whether Lando Norris is that shit, or am I over-exaggerating? And let me know down in the comments, like and subscribe if you want to see a championship battle next year between Lando, Hamilton, Verstappen. Because this year is cooked already, let's be real. It's over. No, it's over. Anyways, after that fucking blabber, we have Lando Norris, who, I'm gonna be honest, he is literally racing like Chick Hicks. Chick Hicks, the guy with so much ego and confidence, but doesn't convert at all. That is Lando Norris. And the worst part about all of this is that Lando Norris isn't just griefing himself. He isn't just griefing McLaren.
But Zach, isn't it time to introduce a little bit of team orders, let's call it that way, into the papaya rules?
Now that is the look of Lando might be failing, but please do not remind me. But he's kind of also griefing the career of his teammate, Oscar Piastri. And for a driver who is only in his second year, and he's been dished out contracts left, right and centre from at least 3 teams, Red Bull, well, obviously McLaren, and Alpine. Hey Oscar, we're announcing you as our driver for 2023. Congratulations. Nah. I'm good. Which they had their own disaster class of their own when trying to sign Oscar Piastri. That thing failed to the ground and flopped like the Roman Empire. It just crumbled. It really just did. McLaren kind of turning into that pussy team that they currently are. Like, look at this shit.
Oh my god, I'm a Scorpio.
It once was so good. But now it's turned into that. Oscar Piastri, who knows? I mean, personally, I'd leave. Okay, maybe not because they have the fastest car, and with Lando Norris's performances this year, Oscar Piastri might have a better shot next year. But besides that, it all seems pretty bad. Oscar Piastri versus McLaren don't seem to be gelling like Verstappen and Red Bull.
The sun is out. The smiles will be out. At 18 years and 227 days old, Max Verstappen wins a Formula One Grand Prix, wins the Spanish Grand Prix, and is the youngest driver ever to win a Formula One World Championship Grand Prix.
And that's a driver who wasn't held back by their teammates or their team. However, speaking of Red Bull, we remember what happened in 2016 where Verstappen got promoted. Just like that, Verstappen got promoted into Red Bull. Okay. Wins a race. Okay. And then absolutely dominates everybody in line in Red Bull. Daniel Ricciardo says bye-bye because he's scared of a fight and so on and so forth. Maybe the same thing is going to happen in McLaren. Oscar Piastri gets promoted to McLaren. He slaps up a couple race wins. He's gotten very close to Lando this year, but he's been held back. His performances they've been kind of put on hold because it's been Lando this entire season. Their relationship might kind of fall out, but it might not on Oscar Piastri's side if next year he manages to slap up Lando. And I don't think the bar is that high. Oscar Piastri in his second year, and he's already winning many races. I think he can do much more and just beat Lando Norris, because if Verstappen can do it in the fourth fastest car, why can't Oscar Piastri in equal machinery? And who knows, maybe Oscar Piastri might end up doing what Verstappen did in Red Bull. Maybe he might slap up Lando. Lando might leave because he's fucking scared of a fight. After this year, he's trembling and shaking every time he starts a race weekend, to the point where he can't even get off the line. Well, he loses P1.
It is underway from the line. Good reaction time for George Russell. The lead for George Russell. The Mercedes man gets by.
Oh, that has literally happened every single time Lando has started on pole. Whereas Oscar Piastri, when he starts on pole, it's a different story.
We're underway and sprinting to turn number one. Oscar Piastri gets the launch he needs.
That's like somebody playing football and missing the ball off the goal line, or missing a penalty, like totally missing the ball when you're shooting a penalty. How? It's free. You can lead the race the same way you can shoot free and score a goal. It's not that difficult. Yet this year, Oscar Piastri has been told to let Lando Norris past a couple times in races. He's been told to hold it back, to defend against other teammates, other drivers, to help Lando as much as he can. Now, agreed, half the time Lando hasn't even been up the top of the field so that Oscar Piastri could help him. Like in Baku, the team orders were, we're going to help Lando. And where was Lando in like P18 or something? Half of it's gone out the window, but the other half, where Oscar Piastri can actually put up a good performance, it's being hindered by Lando. And I'm going to be blunt, I'm going to be honest, I'm not just going to be yapping here and yapping. Oscar Piastri's season last year was a good season for a rookie. Was it a good season compared to Lando? Probably not. Same with this season. I'm going to be 100% honest. Lando Norris has had a much better season than Oscar Piastri. We can put that, like, flat... Wait. Yeah, we can just say that, right? I'm going to say that. However, Oscar Piastri in his second year, first year compared to second year, his time management has been so much better. His race awareness, his race pace has been so much better. His quali pace has been so much better. Now, I can't even imagine what it's going to be like next year, how he's going to transform himself. Logan Sargent did transform himself from the first season to the second season in his Formula 1 career. He's looking bigger, buffer, stronger, fitter. All of the lyrics from Kanye's song, but he got dropped, but that's besides the point. If this trajectory that Oscar Piastri is currently on continues, and he upgrades himself again and gets better in the car, and he's equal to Lando next year, then there's not just going to be a challenge for the title between Lando, Leclerc, Hamilton, Verstappen. Piastri's going to be added to the mix, and honestly, with how we see this season so far, I can bank more money on Piastri. Lando Norris in the entire season hasn't won an actual scrap in a race. This was the closest he got for an actual battle for the win, and well, you see how it ended. He's won 3 races, and it's just been dominant because the car's the fastest, and that's just all it is. In Singapore, he nearly crashed out 3 times, and that's all she wrote. Whereas Oscar Piastri literally won one of the most fierce battles ever. It wasn't just a battle for the race win, it was battles for podiums and points, and they ended in misery in the wall for others. Could have been Piastri. Piastri did the dive bomb of the century, actually injecting Daniel Ricciardo DNA into him, and won the race because he wasn't scared to overtake. Whereas Lando Norris, guy dives up the inside and then says, no, actually, you can have the spot. I'm scared.
Drift King. Shit's caught, bitch.
I feel like at the moment, they are so closely matched. They're multiple-time race winners. The pair of them, Lando Norris has won 3. Oscar Piastri has won 2. They both are, well, a bit weird, and Lando Norris is just a bit... However, I feel like they're so closely matched at the moment, Lando and Oscar, that McLaren really don't know what to do. Because in 2023, it was an obvious 1-2. Right now, they're too close. It's like, it really is like comparing Verstappen and Hamilton in 2021. It's really like comparing Schumacher and Senna. Or, in Williams' case, really like comparing Latifi.
It's crazy how loud silence can sometimes be. Eh? Yeah, it is.
I mean, that's for a whole different reason of why we're comparing Latifi and Sargent, of course. However, they're so closely matched that McLaren, I think they're losing their brains. They want to keep Lando happy on one side, but that's costing them Oscar Piastri. And maybe they have some kind of agreement behind doors that next year everything's going to be scrapped. Next year, Oscar Piastri, if he scores points, he will get prioritized. And honestly, I want to see that happen, because I want to see Oscar Piastri's true colors. Because we haven't seen that yet. At all, because it's just been hindered by this Lando Norris kid. But every time Oscar Piastri has had a run on Lando Norris, he's taken it with open arms, taken it with flying colors, and actually really dominated the guy. It's like Lando fans, or Lando himself, do you even want to talk about Monza? Really? Is that something that wants to be brought up? Do you really want to talk about Austria? Do you really want to talk about Brazil? But Oscar Piastri in both races had to let you by. It's actually kind of sad. And if I was Oscar Piastri, I'd be having none of this. I'd be so mad at that shit-ass team for wanting to win the drivers, but failing, and also griefing me as well. They're not just griefing Lando, they're griefing me as well. And now it's at the point in Las Vegas where Verstappen's probably already won the championship. There's no way of Lando winning. He's going to fluff everything, as he always does. I thought the championship was going to go down to the wire. Shout out Kanye again. But it really didn't. And it's ending 3 races before the final season, or the Abu Dhabi. So honestly, if I'm Mark Webber and I'm not screaming in the booth back in Baku 2021, I'd be screaming at McLaren saying, championship is over, let my boy off the leash, let my boy race as much as he possibly wants to win the races that he possibly can. Because in Brazil, he had the pace and everything to win the sprint race. He had the quali pace to quali P1. He had the pace to probably win the race. Maybe not, because Verstappen's a beast. And the Alpines got lucky. And maybe that's the first time in the two years the Piastri's been on the grid that Alpine have actually beaten McLaren. So there's that Alpine. Go fuck yourself, says... What's his name? What the fuck's his name? Piastri. Yeah, give it a couple years. If Lando doesn't run away from a fight, and if Oscar Piastri doesn't get prioritized or liked by McLaren, just leave. And on that note, let me know down in the comments where Oscar Piastri do you think he will leave, or whether Oscar Piastri will beat Lando Norris next year. Maybe he'll win the championship before Lando. I'd want to see that happen. Anyway, down in the comments, like and subscribe. 100k by the end of next year. Maybe. Yay. 13 likes. Have a safe and fantastic rest of the day. Don't die because they watch other videos. Blah, 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 blah. Peace.
That's all, folks.